Today, we're talking about something that often goes unnoticed because it's hidden behind words like professional, neat, and uniform. For many dance teams, cheer squads, drill teams, and other organizations, having everyone look the same is considered part of the performance. But what happens when looking the same requires someone to completely change the way their natural hair exists? Today's guest, Sydney Bresnahan, lived that experience throughout high school. As a dancer with naturally curly hair, being in uniform often meant wearing her hair straight or relying on straight wigs to meet expectations. This conversation isn't about criticizing one school or one dance program. It's about exploring a much bigger question. When does uniformity unintentionally become exclusion? Let's get into it. Welcome to the Hear What I'm Saying podcast. I'm your host, Kinetra Stewart. Today we have Sydney Bresnahan joining us today to talk about a topic I have been itching and burning to talk about since she dropped this bomb on me about 6 years ago when I was doing her hair. Welcome to the show, Sydney. How are you?
Why, hello. I'm just fantastic today.
And you look fantastic too, may I add.
Flatter me. You know how long it's take me to do this, buns? They don't make me late.
I love the space buns, but we're here on time. That's why I had to tell you, I said, you know what? I want to leave at 12:15. That get us there like 15 minutes early. I was like, but I'm going to tell her to be here at 12 just in case she might not make it on time.
I wouldn't even be offended if you tell me to come 15 to 30 minutes earlier because I'd be just about on time. I'm always going to run about like 30, 15 minutes late, and that's just time blindness.
Yeah.
Not by choice.
Yeah, it's like that for some people, you know?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for the debuff, but...
Yeah, it's all good. You still... good. We're still good. We're rolling. We're only 3 minutes into the show. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into the flow and the groove of the podcast, I want to start off with some burner questions, just to get us all loose and warmed up before we flow into the real context of the discussion questions. So, choreography or freestyle when it comes to dance?
So funny enough, you would think how I'm structured, I'd prefer choreography, but I've understood and learned dance better when doing freestyle.
Freestyle.
So
why? What do you mean? Like you understood it better freestyling?
Because you learn better how I feel at least. You are able to express yourself better when you're able to practice forming it on the fly, like improv.
Oh.
So that's how I feel about it. Choreography is in place and, it's structured. So, yeah, you get to learn the same thing over and be able to perform it a bit better. I think that's why I like freestyle more is simply improving self-expression.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it is an art of expression at the end of the day. And then how you broke that down made me understand the correlation of what you mean by that, especially when you inserted the improv example. I'm like, oh, yeah, now it's clicking. Now I get it.
Because a lot of people like to see dance as it like just being like, you learn a dance, you just show it off. But once again, like you said, dance is an art form. So a lot of people also use the art form to express their art.
Yeah.
Which I think can be slept on sometimes when you're like first introduced to the sport of dance. Mm-hmm. Even though I've been out of it so long.
But let me tell you something. I never seen you dance, and one day your mom uploaded a clip of you on Facebook, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this girl has sat in my chair, and we have so many political lifestyles, we have so many different conversations, but we never talked about how well you could dance. So when I saw that, I was thoroughly impressed. I was like, no, that girl can really dance. Like, she can dance like what I see on TikTok. She can dance.
If there's one thing you could never tell me back when I was a high schooler on the dance team is that I could not dance.
Yeah.
Because listen, if we had to do an art of expression, I would express my butt out. So I have to censor myself a little. Oops.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh my God. Mom would always upload those videos to me. Look at my daughter.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh.
It was, I think you were in the living room, if I'm not mistaken. But I was just... I watched
the living room video.
I watched it so many times, Sydney. I was so impressed.
That was for an assignment. I'm so embarrassed.
Girl, it was bomb. I'm sorry. What's something you're irrationally competitive about?
Well, it's so hard one for me because I'm always like, there's so many. I guess you can say what I'm irrationally competitive about. This was hard for me to think about. Decorating, I guess. I've grown to learn about myself at my current big age of 23.
That's okay.
Hopping on 24.
And you will keep learning about yourself as you get older. I mean, I'm 40 and I'm still learning. It's okay. As long as you are all about elevating and growing, it's all good.
I still can't believe you're 40. I'm sorry. Point is.
Well, thank you.
I guess you could say I'm irrationally competitive of delivering a very concise product, I guess. By product, I mean, like, for example, if someone's like, if I'm putting in someone else and it's like, make a diagram with this information talking about clouds or something, younger me, specific now, why I sound specific is I did this back in aquatic science.
Oh.
I put that little Fonto app to use and made the best visually appealing designed project I ever made with visuals and everything.
I forgot all about Fonto.
I love that app. That app carried me. I used that app down since I was a child. Graphic design was my passion. Is my favorite.
Really?
Funny line because I literally would. You know how they put it in like Comic Sans and it's like graphic design is my passion?
Yeah.
I make that joke about myself a lot because back then, like on my phone, which is like all I had, I would abuse that. Do I wish I abused it more? Yes.
Yeah.
I still do, and I still got my old stuff like filed in like Google somewhere of how good I was of just putting together, like, it would be really simple, but it also would be really like visually appealing. I think I was good at that. I didn't hone on that as hard as I did, but you could say, I'll say that is what I'm irrationally competitive about on a smaller scale, not on like a ginormous scale.
Okay. What about ginormous
Ginormous scale?
Yeah.
Games, but I don't like to talk about that.
Okay. Well, we won't talk about that. But I do know that about you, though.
Unfortunately, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. If you could describe your personality in 3 words, what would they be?
Silly.
Mm-hmm.
Whimsical.
Definitely. Yes.
My 3rd word is always what I chop up on because I'm like, silly, whimsical, empathetic.
Empathetic.
I'm gonna say that because there's so many more, but I'm like, if I have to dumb down to 3, let me just say what I could say on the fly. That's still correct.
I like quirky too. Like, you give me quirky vibes too.
Quirky or quirky?
Quirky. Yeah, quirky. I'm sorry, quirky.
No, quirky.
Like, excuse me, y'all, have my retainer, so I have to like really enunciate my words. I'm so sorry.
And it's okay.
And so it's so hard for me. I'm like, what, day 5 in my retainers, and it's harder to talk.
I'm scared for when I get them.
Than braces. I could talk with my braces, but with these retainers, it's taken a lot for me to like completely pronunciate the words.
A lisp, not by choice.
I have a lisp. Now. I hate it so much. I'm like, you would be having a podcast with a lisp. And it's so bad. It's so bad. I started to like not even wear them. I was like, forget it. I'm not taking these things in and out to record. It is what it is. Y'all are going to go on a journey with me. Yeah, so quirky, not quirky. Even though quirky's not bad either.
Quirky's not bad either. I just thought it was funny. But I like to clarify that because I also I feel like I mishear things, not by choice. So I'm like quirky, like, or like goofy, or like quirky as in like
style and aesthetic. For sure. Yeah.
Well, that I can agree.
Yeah. That's where we are. Okay. You feeling warmed up? You ready to get into the questions?
Okay, I've always been ready.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
So not to tee myself a little.
Gosh. Okay, so tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm looking at them while I do it. Hi. Well, my name is Sydney. I'm currently 23. I'm hopping on 24 in October. I have always, I guess you could say, by growing up nomadic, I blame it on the military. So yeah, but you could say I've always been in my head, good and bad ways, because of being all over the place. I like nerdy passions. Yes, I watch anime. I play games. I have been trying to get more in with beauty and my hair care. Now, yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part. I'm a little silly person. I like to have a good time. Even to make a good time out of a bad time, you know?
When you told me that you were, thinking about pursuing beauty as a profession, I'm like, well, you're already in the industry.
I've seen the background of it for the most part. Yeah. So I was just like, since I pretty much have that access and the privilege to do so, I probably should take advantage of it because I already made the mistake once. The worst thing I can be is pull a J. Cole and be like, fall for it twice. I can't put the blame on anyone else but me.
Yes.
I say J. Cole because I remember the song. Sorry.
J. Cole is my dude. Like my favorite rap artist out right now. So when you said, I'm like, okay, I know where that came from. How would you describe your natural hair?
thick.
Mhm.
I don't know if I can say it, as hell. It's thick as hell.
It is.
I can't stand, like, literally, when I explain, anytime I'm growing up and I have hair talks with girls, whether it be a teenager, even to this day, I think one of my closest friends is the only other girl that I can actually have, like, a curly hair care talk about, and she'd be like, I get you 100%. Even if we don't have the same type of hair types, hair texture, like, thickness-wise, curl pattern-wise, management-wise, all that, like, oh my god. She's the only person I can 100% get that, because growing up, like, I couldn't just do a casual 2 ponytail with them dropping. They would puff up, you know? I'd look like, you know, I'm also used to those being used as an insult against me, is why, but we'll get into that later. Point is, it's just thick. It can get, like,
lumpy curlies.
It can get lumpy curl. It can go in a proper curl pattern. Hard part is getting it, because I've never distinguished if I've had high or low, because it's hard for me to tell. Only because I literally cannot reach my roots. Every time, like, I would try to wash my hair, like, it's so hard for me to reach and get the product to properly clean my root. Even when growing up, I didn't know I had to wash it multiple times.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm not nasty, but I never did, because I thought you only had to wash it once, and then I'd go and do it in the US. I could learn to style it and do all that, and obviously I could have on myself.
But even when I shampoo your hair, I have to, like, open your hair and apply the shampoo on your scalp.
You know the movie Over the Hedge?
I never watched that movie. Watch that movie.
You have to watch.
I'm gonna have to watch it now, just because you mentioned. I'm gonna try to
like
watch
when
it,
people go into the hedge, when the animals go into the hedge to the other side, which is the suburban neighborhood. You're gonna find that out.
Okay.
Literally, my hair feels like that.
Oh my
Every
goodness.
time I try to reach,
now I gotta see.
I gotta reach into my scalp to do it. Like, I have to open it. I feel like I'm opening the hedge.
Yeah.
And it's so butt.
Yeah.
I can't stand it, bruh.
Man, when I first done your hair, because I did Morgan's hair first, so when I done your hair, and in a very ignorant way, siblings, same parents. And even with that, hair is different. Everything is different. So when you came to me after I done Morgan's hair, because Morgan's hair, it's not as thick as yours. It's thick, but it's not as thick as yours. And when I done your hair, I was like, oh my gosh, this girl got a ton of hair on her head. Because I think I first did your hair when you was a hair model for me. Because your mom was like, yeah, my daughter could be a hair model for you. And so when I done your hair, I was like,
know why she said that.
I was like,
I love her, but
why did she say it? No, I don't know. I need to know why.
No, maybe because I'm saying it from a place of she wants to find someone to do her done. Because I've grown up being the child.
Well, yeah, it's like an opportunity to get it done for free.
Girl, yes. Yeah. Because not even just that. I was always, like, the most expensive head out of my sisters.
Yeah, because you have all the hair.
I think we went to a Dominican stylist once. I was but a teeny-weensy baby. Morgan was probably smaller. And then there's, like, Tabby. She's obviously taller. They were, like, what, $60, $70? And I was, like, $80, $90.
Yeah.
And when they were doing, like, the consultation, the rundown of, like, hair types, and I was like, oh. Now, me hearing those numbers at a young age, I wouldn't think anything. But for a reason I still remember them to this day, I was like, oh.
Yeah. No, you do, girl. And it was so healthy, and it every strand was just I know it can come with a certain level of inconvenience,
certain level. I do appreciate the good sides. On the other hand,
but at the end of the day, oh my gosh,
I cannot just put it up in a bun.
Yeah.
And I gotta wax my edges.
Looking for that convenience.
I know.
And then the baby, even when you remember, like, you wanted to cut it. I think we talked about you wanted to cut your hair the first time I even done your hair. And, of course, with your mom, she was like, no, we're not cutting her hair. I mean, eventually we cut it. But learning why, I understood why you wanted to cut it. But when we cut it, the next time I saw you, it was like we never cut it. I was like, this girl hair, it's always the ones whose hairs just grow the quickest.
I cut that thing and it grew back within a year.
Yeah, it grew back so fast. It was like I never cut it. But I'm like, these are the ones who want to just chop all their hair off. And y'all, today we're chopping her hair off today because she's done with her hair again. After we leave the podcast, I am going to her house to cut her hair.
Don't worry.
Today.
The reason why it's getting deeply cleaned is because mother have remnants of me. You'll need it. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
I always love to share my joy.
So give me one word how you would describe your relationship with your curls now. One word, if you could.
Oh, this is where I really would take advantage of my vocabulary book. I do not have that. I can say, like, I don't have a more accurate, detailed word,
Okay.
but what I probably would say is... Now, where did it go? Oh, this is so irritating.
It's
This is so
okay.
irritating.
It's okay.
Let's
If
just...
it ain't one word, I know the last guest I had, she said she has it's love-hate, or did have.
I wouldn't say love-hate, love-dislike, because I've grown to not really hate my hair. Hate, I feel, can go more a down traumatic area, and I think feeds something that already affects a lot of girls everywhere when it comes to having curly texture, which is like, racial and self-esteem. But mine's is more so just like exotic. Now, exotic in a way of just like, one day I can just be like, wow, you're working with me today.
Yeah.
I'm consistent. It's working with me. I'm loving life. And the next thing you know, my roots are dry as hell. And then the ends want to curl up, but then I'm puffed at my roots. And then my roots are just like, yeah, I just can't absorb anything.
Yeah. Because you ain't able to get to them.
Or it's like my scalp. Oh, no. Recently, for example, like I came out of having literally a month and a half of having like knotless, what are they called?
Braids?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But the ones with the strand out. Boho.
Boho.
Knotless boho. But I had to have the protective braid down on my head. I got the pictures somewhere when I tell you. Keep in mind, my mom wasn't even trying to braid me that hard when she was doing it.
Oh,
but I felt every single thing.
Like the tension, like it was tight.
It was 10 times tenner than it was when I felt like I was like 15. I was just like, wow. And then
trying to check, like, what the check I like to do to see if my hair's too tight, I'd like squint my eyebrows and like
do you lift
like
the
my
back of your
ears. You gotta be like clenching my ears together, like, ooh, if I feel that pull a little bit at the scalp when I'm like twitching like that, that means my hair is too tight. I know I can't be the only one that do
my
that.
scalp is red, I might be as good as dead.
Yeah.
Like, because Morgan was just like that. I don't want to get too distracted, but anytime Morgan would get her hair braided down and it seemed too tight, you can see it. And low-key, it's too funny. But I love her.
I've actually seen it because your mom sent me a fresh picture of Morgan's hair after she finished, and I was like, yeah, that's tight.
Oh,
that hair is tight.
She was like, yo, Tylenol, like, Advil, Tylenol, ASAP, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you sleep that off ASAP.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Ooh.
As someone who is biracial, did you ever feel like your hair affected where you felt like you belonged?
Yes. Because if, let's say my hair, like, didn't have a curly texture, none of these people knew I would know that I'm, like, black. They would not know. I say that I can probably prove the point better with Morgan, my youngest, because she's like 10 times lighter than us, unless she goes out to the sun and gets a mega tan, healthily. Point is, if she had like silky straight hair and interact with other people, they'd probably assume she's Latina or something.
Yeah.
Versus like, no, my mom is Caribbean and my dad is white. But no, yeah, if I didn't have the kinky, coily, healthy hair that I did, I probably would have had a harder struggle growing up of distinguishing my identity and feeling confident in my identity versus like if I had straight hair, I'd probably be trying to conform with being a white girl or something. No, I don't say that in a really negative way, but like
that's just the reality of what the experience could have been.
Could have felt like us growing up biracial.
That's true. Yeah. So did you mostly wear your hair curly or straight when you were growing up, or in ponytails? Like, how would you wear your hair?
I could probably say when we were like baby, hitting like the age of like, toddler to, preteen, we definitely, my mom, because there's a lot of different hair textures and that's one mom who knows how to do hair for the most part, at least learned it herself because that's how she got over here.
Right.
So we had those, those cute little bead styles, the 4, the 2, the pigtails or whatever.
Right.
Hey, what's wrong with you? Now, we did get a lot of silk presses growing up because for my mom, it's just for the sake of convenience. It was just more convenient for us to have that. Now,
because it's like 3 girls.
3 girls, 3 kinky heads, all of them not chopped short. And then we have to figure out how to learn to manage it short while we are out playing in dirt and mud on the field.
Yeah.
And
so the silk presses, I understand.
Exactly. But yeah, we've had the 4 ones. Now, obviously, when I got preteen to like teenager, we did predominantly have more silk presses. I love the dad. One, I felt my best in. Now, obviously, because it's convenient, I just got it so I feel pretty. But then when I have to maintain it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is so bad.
Maintaining a silk press is a lot. It's just restrictive.
Pull it up a certain way, pull the bonnet up, but then the bonnet slips off during the night. So you're like, did I just ruin my silk?
You have no volume keeping that bonnet on your head.
And the bonnet is loose in the edges? What am I? So mad. Literally, my mom would be like, why are your braids, why are you little plaits and twists fuzzy? It slips off my head at night. So now I have to put it in a bun.
Yeah.
When I put my edge and get my edges waxed.
Yeah. What?
No, not waxed. I say that. Wrong statement.
Okay.
I wax. As in, like, I get the edge waxed and I put my edges down.
Oh, girl.
There we go.
Wait a minute.
I would never wax my edges as they are pretty much a line man. I'd be like, I'd recede a hairline.
I was about to say, because, I mean, they don't look waxed now where they don't grew back in, but I got you now. Using edge wax to control the edges.
Yay.
Gotcha.
You know?
Girl, I was like, wait a minute.
Listen, verbiage is sometimes my superpower, but also my downfall. So.
No, it ain't. No, it's not. It's who you are. All right, so let's move into you joining the dance team, the segment where we want to talk about that. When did you first learn there were expectations around how your hair needed to look?
You could, I can give myself kind of benefit of the doubt. You could probably say around when I was doing dance recreationally outside before in high school, I auditioned, is when I kind of learned there was an expectation. But also, I was still really young when I first competed, like actual first specific time. But when getting older, being able to actually understand the format a bit more, that's when I understood, like, when we had to learn the foundations of, like, ballet, what was uniform, dance uniform, all that stuff. That's when I was kind of like, oh, damn. Like, ballet, you have to be up in a bun.
Right.
No matter what.
Yep, you sure do.
But, at least with that, you can be curly and get away with that.
Yep.
Right. But when I went on a dance team, practice, no specific uniform. At the end of the day, you're pulling up, you got to go to school. Varsity's first thing in the morning. I'm sweating first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I don't understand that over here. Like the sports, like the practices are in the morning. Like when I was growing up,
night.
they were in the evening, honey. They were after school.
Strictly after school?
Strictly after school.
No
I never, when I was on a dance team, the cheerleading team, even the basketball team, practices were during PE hour, or they were, and that was always the last class for the day. Or it was immediately following after PE. We never practiced in the morning until I moved here, and then, Magic and Deuce are practicing at 6:30 in the morning for cross country. I'm like,
and that's middle school, by the way. They got to get butt up early.
Yeah,
and I remember that because obviously when you played like a sport in school, volleyball. I once remember me and this girl at this door, first thing at like end of 5, 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't miss that.
Yeah.
And now I'm a person that can't even get up at time of the morning, so
yeah,
I hate it more.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Release me.
Yeah. Okay, so getting up early in the morning, and we're pretty much just talking about what were we talking about? Because I threw myself out when you said it, because I'm still stuck on that. We're talking about
on the dance team when I went.
Yeah, how did the expectations around how you need to look? We were graduating to that from the time that you were a kid, and then we were talking about that. I'm so sorry.
Obviously, we'd be up first thing in the morning. Now, obviously, when it came to actual events like pep rallies, drill season, when you have to be on the football field in uniform, whether it be the Jazz or it be the actual signature hat and everything, specific drill season uniform, that's when there's an expected hair you needed to have.
Okay.
Now, from what I understood during the time being on the team, when I was first on the team in high school, had to be straight. Our silhouette was like that, for the team that we were on, and that is what we were explained when we were sat down and we would go over all that stuff. Now, obviously, she had to give a leeway for some of the girls on the team, because our team at the time was always known for being the biggest in district. But because of that, we're also, I say, very diverse on a small scale. Not small scale as if like half of the team was predominantly white, or you could say Hispanic, and all that stuff. But then you have the other half where you're coming from different Caribbean backgrounds, Black in general, African American, all that. And we have different even the girls who weren't extremely like coily, wavy curls still exist, girl.
That's right.
So, you still have people of different patterns. You have people's hair who literally cannot be straightened that straight.
Right.
So our only gray area were braids, specifically, from what I understood. So we would always make sure, we would always make sure to get that clarified. I know one of the girls probably did at the time because literally she could not. She'd have to rely on braids. But from my understanding, it was mainly straight hair.
Mainly straight hair.
When you're in that, the only exception we had was homecoming, and if you had to wear the jazz dress. Wearing the jazz uniform, I call it jazz uniform because I don't remember the specific one today, but it's a dress essentially. And we wear jazz shoes with it.
Okay.
Obviously with tights. So that we can make a pass because the hairstyle for that, a slick back.
Gotcha.
Simple enough. So we could be curly in a slick back bun. Well, I'm slicking it back. Why would I slick this back in a slick press?
Okay.
Or a low ponytail. You can get away with that too. So curly for low ponytail, we would be approved. Gray area approved.
Okay.
But if we had the hat on, if it's not homecoming, or let's say I think maybe like a breast cancer game, the game that lands on like breast cancer awareness week or like that week. So the only one I could think of is homecoming, essentially.
Right.
If we weren't approved to go curly that game, it's mainly straight.
So did anyone ever ask, could they wear their hair curly during those events that where it was like just required it to be straight, like down and curly? That wasn't acceptable either?
What? No. I think it's because coming from a context, because we've already told that it had to be that it had to be straight.
Nobody
the expectation
questioned it.
is to be straight. I remember an incident like this before, but it goes more into the wig category. I remember that incident very vividly, and in my heart and my soul, it hurt to see in real time because it was one of the lieutenants that it happened to before, and basically what it was. Now this is when I actually my hair I wasn't wearing my actual hair to games. I wore a wig. I was like, Mama, I can't take this.
Right.
Can we go get a wig or something?
Because it's probably reverting. It's not behaving. It's Texas heat during the fall, almost
Texas
winter.
heat. I'm slicking it back a million one times. And also I'm like, Mother, I can't be straightening my hair all the time.
Yeah, it's damaging.
And she's used to wearing, she is my exposure to convenient, the little bun tool you use to make a bun, the fake ponytail you hook onto your little ponytail, all that, installing a wig. So I'm like, Mama, can I wear a wig? Yes, I wanted bangs. I was 15. Maybe a little alternative, but you can't, it's hard to express your alternativeness in high school when there's a uniform. That's another day. Point is, either who, I made that wig work. I pinned the bangs to the side and I'd take them down when we have to take off the uniform. I did not care.
Yeah.
I was happy. But I had I think in that specific game, I think it was after we had a homecoming or some other game, so we had to go back straight. We couldn't go curly. Now, one of the lieutenants, I love her to death because she's a really good dancer, everything. She's also really sweet and funny. I felt so bad for her in that situation. This was the first year I was on the team. One of the last games towards the end of football season. She had like a short little wig, but the problem was it was a curly synthetic.
Oh.
A curly synthetic. And, the coach obviously, got onto her saying like, hey, you can't wear that. It has to be straight. And then she explained that to the coach. Mind you, coach is white woman. So she doesn't have to deal with necessarily that. Let's just say that point blank period. You don't expect a coach, let alone who doesn't have to deal with that, a white coach at that, to change up their hairstyle. They can do that with their own hair. In fact, she wore the same hairstyle every day. I'm just going to say that up front. So, not her problem. She didn't really care. She don't know much about that. Point blank period. Her own opinions, that's different. So she's like, no, it has to be straight. So all you see, because the first year that I was on, we had 2 black lieutenants, 3 white, and a white captain. Or one of them is Italian. I remember because she was really short, but she was really cute. She was awesome. She was my lieutenant. She was awesome. She was an awesome lieutenant. This is first year, but so you just have her and the other black lieutenant who, is familiar with this. She does insult. She gets her own nails done and stuff. She's familiar with how that works.
Right.
She's familiar with it. So she's coming over, helping out this girl all she can, and all you see, and it hurts my soul to see, is a synthetic wig getting flat irons.
But it even take the heat because it was fake. What was it doing?
We hope it did. We made it straight as it could be, and I know she felt like sugar honey iced tea. That's what I would say. Like, she herself is too pretty, but
I'm laughing because I was just watching a TikTok of somebody talking about some sugar honey iced tea, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta start using it. I love it. I'm not laughing at her. Let me say that. I just saw this guy in the military, and yeah, we're not going into that, but
We're
that's
going
the
into
reason
that.
why I chuckled. Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
I use that to censor my words because I'm someone's very expressive.
Yeah, I mean,
Fun.
you can be expressive if you need to.
Only when I need to. But no, yeah, I remember that specific moment, and it hurt my soul because it's not the first moment I've seen, and my heart breaks in two.
Right.
Where, like, you know, you see someone who can't really. One, it's like, it just doesn't work in their favor. Like,
Yeah.
how do you expect her to just. And mind you, we're all getting ready to go to this game. She can't just go home, grab another wig, come back, no nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is the only wig she has. Even a lieutenant, okay? Someone who is, like, probably graduating this year. Not this year, senior year. This is probably her senior year. Like, she can't go back and grab another wig. Ain't no one gonna have another wig on them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't expect that. Not everyone's prepared. We're all teenagers, essentially. So all we can do is really help her out. Which the girl, all she can really do is grab her, her friend could get her flat iron, her other lieutenant, and straighten that out.
Did it straighten at all?
Most that it could. It probably smelled burned, too.
So how did,
In the end, that's what they did. They had to straighten that out, and then she went along with her straightened synthetic wig.
So she didn't have a problem with that. Even what was the appearance, the afterwards, like after the fact? Like, did it look better? No, it didn't look
Maybe
better.
she looked like sugar honey iced tea. Her hair looked like sugar honey iced tea.
And so, who was the lady again that told her that she needed to straighten her hair? Was it the sponsor?
The coach.
Okay. So,
because the coach,
how did she feel? Like, so she walked up to her to approve of the new look, and she was fine with the new look. What did she say?
Here's my example. So you know how, like, there's a set makeup we have to follow. We can't do anything else like eyeliner or anything.
Right.
Now, why I say this because the one time I put a little line next to my eye, and she came up to me and said, "No eyeliner." I was like, "Oh my god, how'd you figure it out? You can't even see it."
Right.
Pointless. That's my example of, like, the coach is strict on things that are uniform.
So she's just all about conforming to the rules and guidelines, no matter if it don't even look good. Okay.
Yeah. Because, like, me and another friend, we're going to refer her by Jay. I love Jay.
Okay.
I miss Jay to this day.
Okay, Jay.
She probably might see it because then my name pops up here. Point is, so she was one of my favorite people to confide in, but also be friends with on the dance team because she would say it was one of the first times I got reassurance on seeing a certain perspective on things on the dance team that I'm like, this is, like, not healthy for us girls who are from different backgrounds,
right?
Different cultural backgrounds, or let alone different hair. Because she too had a similar texture to me. She might be maybe just about the same thickness. Don't know, but we had the same bunch of hair out, everything. You know what I mean? She also eventually would, like, do the same thing. There was probably one year when we were first on the team, when we went to homecoming, we had our natural silk presses for the dance team. We learned our lesson. I was like,
absolutely
not. Put me in that wig now.
Yeah.
I think she did the same thing. She had, like, a really pretty, like, long, like, wig. Now, take it with a grain of salt because my memory's a little hazy. I just vividly remember the important parts of it. She eventually started doing the same thing because it was just not worth it to keep doing your natural hair. Like, straighten your natural hair, and then you sweat this out. How are you going to look to school the next day? Or back to start on Monday. Then you got to go to practice in the morning and sweat it out again because we dance in the morning. We don't go, and especially if you have to practice again in the afternoon, because Thursdays we would practice with band.
Oh, yeah.
Before then go to the football game. So, kaboom, like...
It didn't work. That's why the wig was more convenient.
The wig was heavily more convenient because, one, we looked the part. Two, we're not damaging the part. And then three, too, like, we're in uniform.
Yeah.
So, me and her, I think we also both saw the same thing. And we were just like, oof. We just both felt bad for her. Because it was just like, imagine if, like, instead, I don't think you don't have, like... she looked less in uniform straightening out that synthetic wig versus if she just let her wear it curly and go on it.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, we are from a distance from these
and nobody cares about that much uniformity.
When I got a little wing of eyeliner. If I did a fat wing, that's different. But me doing a line next to my eye, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This just being an example. They can't see that.
No. No, they
Only
can't.
the cameras can on the field if they even took pictures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we ain't got a camera like that where they're recording our routine from a distance.
Yeah.
Unless one of the parents in the stands are doing that strictly in
Mhm.
halftime. So I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was shocked whenever you first told me that. Whenever you started coming to me and I straightened your hair and then you came for a wig installment. And then when your mom told me you was getting a wig installment, I'm like, what the heck Sydney want a wig for?
Girl, I forgot.
And so and then that's when I learned that's when I learned the dress code. And I was immediately offended. I was so mad.
It was so tedious too.
Because I didn't have to experience that. And I'm from Louisiana. And however you wanted to wear your hair, you could wear however you wanted to wear it. The only thing they cared about was the uniform itself that we wore. But our hair, our makeup, they did not care about that. We had girls on the cheerleading team that were natural, and then some that were not. And we didn't have to go through that. So I was immediately offended whenever you told me that y'all had to wear straight hair. I wanted to call your sponsor and ask her, I need to know why this is so important. You need to understand so many different layers as to why curly girls should not be straightening their hair. And also you need to know how wigs can also be detrimental to the hairline depending on whatever wig you choose
depending
to wear.
on what installment you do.
That's
how
right.
is protection nonetheless. Because mind you, we didn't do it like a full lace install or anything.
Yeah.
I was my mom would braid me down protective tuck and we would put it in because luckily I wanted bangs so bad. I tell you, I was.
Yeah, you did want bangs. We finally cut them bangs too.
I know, and I looked mad good. Okay, I looked mad good.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, it was so pretty.
My favorite little bob of the year.
Yeah.
Point is, oh my God, when I tell you, like in the end, a teenager, and sometimes even your own mom isn't gonna know during the time when it comes to certain wigs, how they're processed, how they're made, the type of it is synthetic or natural. You're not always gonna know how it's made, if it's properly taken care of, washed, if it has chemicals in it that could affect your natural hair in itself, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's just thinking, going deeper into that. The point is, like, there are probably some girls who are getting lace install, probably doing it too often. That can affect your hairline.
That's right.
Or even like wearing them so putting them a certain way, they still tug no matter what. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah. That's
even
why I was mad, girl. I was so mad.
Furious even.
Did anyone ever explain why straight hair was considered the standard?
So there's two levels. There's the bare minimum explanation of like to keep us in uniform, but as a collective for dance, like the dance team or even going into college dance teams, no. My perspective of it was never clarified, and I thought that was foolish because I'm like, at the end of the day, the college teams are grown. So, at the end of the day, I expect them to be able to stand up for themselves and be able to start that conversation. From the pictures I even see, and sometimes the girls from college dance teams, Texas A&M, even the UMHB one, I think. Point is, you'd have, most of the time it would be a girl of color, thank God. At least when I was there, I remember one coming one down twice in a row, actually. They would have some form of braid, or they would still be allowed to wear their natural. So I understood it for at least college teams. That expectation after the fact when I went through my experiences, is set. But high school wise, I was like, this is foolish because I can't keep spending $300. Let's say $300 estimate on a head like mine that can take longer than 2 hours if they pay. Let's say $120 an hour.
And that's why I was also upset about it because I'm like, they don't have to pay anything to get their hair done in order to fit the uniform. If you have naturally straight hair and it's going to stay straight no matter how tepid, no matter how humid the weather may be, the climate, whatever the case may be, they're not having to go through these extra things in order to conform to the uniform. And that's why I was also mad. I'm like, okay, so since you need to adhere to these strict guidelines around your hair, can y'all compensate for the additional fees that these particular different backgrounds of, these young girls have to go through in order to conform to your standard?
You think the district would, but the district is cheap.
Well, we know that, girl. I work for the district, so I already know how to
You don't even have to work for the same district to know that they don't care for the students like that in that aspect. And I say that because if you're having coaches tell you during COVID year or teachers to speak out against a district that they know is systematically corrupt and they don't even speak out for themselves either, at least for majority of those teachers. There are certain teachers that we as kids have probably connected with or teenagers have connected with who do stand for them, but we know how the system functions. They are functionally kicked out over time because they cannot take, the pressure of being like mistreated and all that stuff, So majority of the time, at least from my perspective as a teenager, 85% of the time, you have the teachers who don't really stand for their kids like that, or let alone communicate with the district in regards of concerns like that, telling us to speak up when you don't even speak up for us.
That's true.
Now, I connect that back to, like, I don't expect them to fund that. In fact, that's why they have a booster team, to fund even half the stuff we can do on the dance team. Have shoes, have a jersey, being able to actually be given food like Jimmy John's, Raisin Canes to eat and stuff, before we go in. Half of the time we had to pay for that for ourselves sometimes, unless one of the booster moms would provide that. We wouldn't even have majority of the stuff if we didn't go out our way every year before, the start of school year to go get sponsors to sign our sheet, to be on the back of our shirt to represent us.
Yep.
And, and some other thing, because, like, I didn't care to read that sheet. I passed it to my mom. I was like, Mom, can you do that?
Just give it to Jillian. Here, Mama.
And, she did her part, but you know how my mom is. She's like, I already did my part. The new mom should be doing the same thing. And my mom isn't going to suck up to any, booster team.
Mm-mm.
And, I don't even want to, sound like a little bit of a a-hole when I explain that part, but I'm sorry, my mom isn't going to go out of my way to please having to fund it when there's an expectation that, there's the booster team, us doing the sponsoring to do it, but we can't be strictly relying on this.
That's right.
Like, are you kidding me? The volleyball team reaches district, but we're going to fund a whole wraparound with the school with firefighters, policemen, and stuff for a football team that can't hit district that year. Sorry, that's what I mean by example of why are we not funding the right things collectively or equally?
That's right. No, that's right.
Mind you, dare I say, go into a competitive season during the year when I first competed with the school, okay? We got first place in hip-hop, by the way. Wow. We got first place in hip-hop, and you're welcome. Point is, we have first place in hip-hop, but we don't even get funded that well. We placed well in high areas. We had really good dancers on our team that year. Soloist-wise, we had one amazing girl who placed first place. She performed her solo again in front of the entire. That school was big. Texas schools are big. Point is, performed it again, everything. We have beautiful competitors all around. Why is it all going to football?
Oh, yeah. That's where it's gonna go.
We're not funded. So I don't never expect them to even think, especially on a label, if we're going to be realistic, low-key, racially biased. So I'm never going to expect them to even have the care to understand how it is to conform my hair that way. Because they're like, well, that's just how it is. Why is it that way?
Yeah.
For a teenager, they're not even fully grown yet. And let alone when you hit 18, they're still teen and 18 and 19.
That's
Meaning,
true.
why is it now I have to be thrown all these rough, grown, 20 higher expectations of getting my stuff together like this is a job? You don't pay me to do this.
That's true.
By the way, okay? This is out of my own mother's pockets, everyone's pockets, and they're probably doing this in some way so that their kid is still doing some kind of extracurricular.
Yeah.
So,
baby, case rested. Do you hear me, baby?
Shoot.
Let me tell you something.
Once they hear the price of that lace install, they're going to be like, this is ridiculous. Actually, no. They straight up say no.
Yeah, that's right. No, you brought up a very great and interesting point, for sure. And it's valid.
I'm only referencing my year. I can't speak for the current years of people in their current high school years when, they're locking up their phones in their bag going to school. Poor babies. Because meanwhile, me, I didn't have to do that. I can use mine for schoolwork. Point is, I was just like, I can't imagine how those girls are experiencing the current dance team as it is. With newer schools coming around, all I can hope is that that's where it changes. And that's where at least if you do get a coach that even is not of the same race you may be with the same struggles, is understanding of that.
That's right.
Because they do exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just only had my side experience of it, which is with, my school that I graduated with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Now, case rested, honey. Let me tell you something. They are prosecuted. Thoroughly. Because you brought up so many great valid points. And that's how all these little small country towns are. They are all about football. They're all about any other sport. Outside of football, they don't care. They could be on a losing streak, and they are
like, we're the best. $5,000 their way. What are we talking
That's
about?
right. Yep. Yep, that's true. Did you personally ever feel like your curls weren't uniform enough?
That's a really good question.
Mhm.
Now, if I'm speaking from how my mind was personally back then, I never really paid too much to it unless it's brought to my attention.
Mhm.
I feel like in my mind, my coach never said anything to me on the days that we could wear curly. I'm gonna wear curly and be fine, which is strictly homecoming. Because one thing you're not gonna catch me is off guard. I
Mhm.
hope not, to the best of my degree. Point is, as in like style, unfortunately, yes. Because once again, high school, preteen, teenager is still a time when you are learning to perfectly manage your curls.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a
Mhm.
perfect way. Plus, I'm alternative. So I wanted so many different styles. However,
Mhm.
I couldn't execute those styles. I didn't know how to keep them in place. I didn't know how to keep my length versus like it shrinking all up to my scalp and stuff.
Mhm.
And, it was just doable. I'm pretty. I'm going to look pretty in my uniform,
Mhm.
curly or straight.
That's right.
But it's also what matters too is feeling pretty, feeling confident. And you can't expect every other girl, they're not gonna have the same hair textures as me. They're probably not gonna feel pretty. Like one girl that
Mhm.
we had on the team, she, her hair was so damaged at one point, next year that she was on, she had to chop it, you know?
Yeah.
Super short. You know, how does she feel now when having to accommodate now all around, keeping it straight or having this? You're still having growth. I'm talking tiny kinky. So imagine having to still braid in braids to that to uniform with the team. And we all know how it is with braids. Sometimes if it's too tight, it can do more damage than it is protect. Maintaining those braids, if it gets sweat and stuff in it, how do you clean them out? All that stuff.
Amen, sister. And that's another expense. And braids ain't cheap.
Braids are never cheap. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure if I actually went and paid someone to go get my hair braided, I'd probably be $600.
Yeah.
Because I would take
Probably
longer.
more. Cause for
Exactly.
me, I know I've been quoted at 6, and you have way more hair than I do.
I'd probably be.
You got way more hair than me. So I know, baby. Now I'm being quoted at 6 today. Mhm.
So if you're being a quota at 6, what am I?
Probably 1,000.
That is rent.
Were there moments when you wished your natural curls could simply be accepted as part of the uniform?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dance season when I'd have to put that thing back in like a little bun. That's probably just me maintaining it because I couldn't. We all develop at a different level. I could not do braids. I can't do my braids to this day. Okay, not a
Mhm.
shame. To this
Please
day,
don't. A lot
there is
of
no.
us cannot braid.
I have no shame to this day. I cannot braid my own head. It is harder than I thought. And on top that, like, I'm a little like quirked up here. I just can't. Imagine it, like I'm next to girls in high school who can braid this back. Her used to it, slick back, hair, everything perfect to the T. Me, Tabby, can you help me put my hair back?
Mhm.
Sometimes I just wish too, in like homecoming too, like you can tell what the set look is like when it comes to like the silhouette of a dancer. It's all based from the root of a dance team. Dare I say Delta Cowboy cheerleaders? You know what I mean? I don't say all roots from there. Maybe I gotta check my education again because at the end of the day, it's been so long since I've tapped into the circle. But a lot of them speak for themselves, and sometimes I'm proven right. So
Mhm.
like, there's a set silhouette that's always set. Hence, when the standard is set straight, you're not going to think you fit that because of how curly headed you are.
Right.
Sometimes you can only find that by seeing other people who have done that, which when I auditioned, that one captain, the year that I was auditioning into the team, that was the first time I've ever saw that. And it was like, it fit. It was beautiful. In fact, I thought it was a standard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, when we're getting silhouettes of like the dancers with like the straight hair, and stuff, of course you're not going to feel accepted into it.
That's right.
As much as I knew that I looked pretty, I made it work. I never
Mhm.
felt accepted because the standard was always with straight hair.
It sure is. And I've never seen a silhouette of a dancer or a cheerleader with textured hair. It's always been straight.
You're telling me even the extreme competitive cheerleaders,
Mhm.
it's always been straight.
It's always been straight.
Straight back to the point to where your hairline is receding.
Mhm. Even if you do Google images, if you're on Canva and you are Googling, if you just plainly type out girl dancer silhouette,
What they all
ain't
gonna
no
be? Boom. boom.
There are
boom,
no textured
boom.
silhouettes coming out. Even, a lot of the brides that I used to service back in Virginia, this was before curly hair was becoming a standard. And they be like, I cannot find any hairstyles on Google that represent, what I'm looking for. And if I am trying to look for it, I always have to type in black girl with curly hair.
Black girl, curly hair.
Yep, I
all
just
that.
cannot just type just the simple low updo.
I think it's funny you say that because back when I was in private school, before I transitioned into high school, back into public school, when I am I'm an avid Pinterest user. Let me tell you, I have to filter Pinterest out with my own head as I use Pinterest. Now that's because of the surge of AI. Point is,
oh god, yeah.
when I would look up hairstyles, you bet all of them were white girls, brunette white girls.
Yep.
Even if like Latina Hispanic, the hair it's not wavy. It's just straight.
Yeah.
It's still straight or wavy, it's still silky wavy.
Yeah.
Not like curl textured wavy when wet. So it's like all you see is those braid back hairstyles that even ones you would see from across the sea, like Japan and them. It's still straight, girl. There is no place for me in those cute little coquette hairstyles sometimes. So we had to make our own.
Yep. You sure do. It is a struggle. It was a struggle. So let's see. We only have about 8 minutes. Let's see. Let me choose one of these good ones. Let's see. The good thing is you've covered a lot of the questions without me even asking them. So that's the good thing. Let's leave off with this one. Actually, I'm going to throw in 2. We're just going to have to try to quickly get it done.
Yeah.
If a young dancer with curly or coily hair is listening today, what would you want them to know?
There are places for you. In fact, they want you. Okay. It's not like back then where we couldn't, do it because, our hair is straight. We have to chop off our hair and stuff. There are places for you. They want your curly hair. And in fact, your curly hair looks better representing the team versus doing that 15 and that long old little bust down.
Right.
If they set the expectation as straight, it's not meant for you. And in fact, challenge it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, it's who you are. If I'm having to change a part of myself to fit a uniform and it's supposed to represent all of us, you are not being properly represented.
Baby, you ain't down with that one. Yes, you did. Okay, last question. How would you define inclusion?
Inclusion is no matter how different you are, all of you are one as in unison. So meaning, even if I have a guy next to me and a shorter girl who may have a different texture than me next to me, we are wearing the same uniform, we are still the same thing as one.
That's right.
At the end of the day.
The dance routine and the uniforms are enough for inclusion.
The uniform is the uniform is the uniform,
right?
And the uniform of the choreography and of the performance itself.
That's right. That's enough. I don't need to change my hair in order to be in unity with everyone.
That part.
Girl.
Because listen, if I have to be straight to make it look great, it's never going to be great.
Ooh. I love that. Now, did you just come up with that on the fly or what?
Yeah.
I cannot.
I think I'm a little too good at that.
Girl, you are so bomb.
I just even thought,
oh my gosh.
me.
Well, I really appreciate you for finally coming on to the show and sharing, because I've been trying to get you on here before I even started doing visual representation. And I was like, that's going to be a really good story to share one day. And also for someone who is currently in the experience of what you had to experience or went through it, it can be relatable and they can finally feel seen. Because I'm like, I know that's not just her experience alone. So
there's plenty of other girls who have went through the same thing. Obviously, I can't cover it because, we're short on time. But we've been through into it of it before. Hence, the spark of the change needs to happen. I think it already has for the most part when it comes to the newer generation and even in the current school district.
Yeah.
For newer schools, it's definitely going to happen. Has to. Because if not, you're just going to repeat the same cycle that other girls are going to go through in the older schools on the current dance teams, unless you change that out and pretty much just put that in place.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, thank you again. I really appreciate it. Please shout out your socials if you want our listeners to stay in touch with you.
I only have an Instagram, a personal one. It's mirrored heart, but it's spelled up. It has like multiple like letters.
Okay, spell it.
Here, so let me pull it up.
Well,
right?
you know what? I'll leave it in the show notes.
Yes. Show notes is
I'll
probably
put it in
going to be
the show
better
notes.
than me saying it because I'm a little embarrassed if I say it.
Okay, no worries. We'll put it in the show notes. So if y'all want to continue following Sydney from this podcast, I will make sure to put the information in the show notes so y'all can stay connected. Sydney, thank you so much for being here today and for trusting me with your story. I know some experiences can seem small when we look back on them, but conversations like this remind us that the way we define professionalism, beauty, and belonging can have a lasting impact on how people see themselves. Your willingness to be open and vulnerable has the power to help someone feel seen, understood, and maybe even a little less alone. I'm truly grateful you chose to share your journey with us. And thank you to everyone for listening to the Hear What I'm Saying podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this episode with someone who will enjoy it too. Until next time, take care.